Hey there, this is the guy that just woke up to some good news and welcome to this AFK journey video. So I actually just woke up, so if I sound a little bit scuffed, pardon me. So I woke up, washed up, and then I checked my Discord and I got updates that there's a new patch note video that dropped on the Instagram site. So I immediately downloaded the video and then here I am sitting down and doing the review. So this is basically version 1.16. Including Talin, including some new game modes, as well as a new Graveborn unit. So not too sure how the Graveborn unit will work, but for this video, I'm just gonna run through all the important parts and then give my personal opinions or first impressions about the things which I think is gonna be important. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the video itself.
Noble god of the obsidian benches wields the power of the Solaris. The flaming sword in her hand incinerates all evil. She is Talin, the resurging flame, a mage from the Celestials.
Oh, Chippy, you actually found her!
Our journey to find her was full of twists. Talin lost her memory and doesn't remember us, but her powers remain. As a Celestial, she has a significant impact on the entire battle. When Talin unleashes her ultimate, Divine Conflagration, she flies to the center of the battlefield, launching a wide-range flame attack at the enemy.
We'll run through all her skills first and then I'll give my thoughts about it based on what I see as a whole.
Divine Conflagration keeps draining Talin's health. As time passes, her health also depletes faster, but her damage stacks up accordingly. The second ability, Radiant Resurgence, generates a warm current that heals her allies whenever Talin loses health. Conversely, whenever her health is recovered, Talin generates a surge that damages her enemies. Casting this skill summons the Heavenly Fire by consuming a portion of Talin's maximum health, the flames damaging all enemies within the area. In battle, Talin keeps sacrificing her health for greater area damage and healing effects. So by draining her own health, she can easily fall.
Wait, hold on. Okay, the reason why I mean, if you guys have been watching my screen, I had a really shocked face. It's because, okay, first of all, I think she's gonna change out the meta definitely because the ultimate, right? Okay, so this part is a lot of synergy with her kit, obviously. Her kit is about losing HP to deal damage or losing HP to heal the ally. But at the same time, she also has the healing part, which I think this skill has been talked about. So if you imagine her in a store team, she basically can replace Skalita in that DPS role. Or even better, she can work together with Skalita, right, for even more powerful sustained team. So I was probably one of the first few players around even in PTR to test out the store team, and I think Talin in store is gonna be pretty game changing, like based on at least the ultimate as well as Radiant Resurgence. Because for the ultimate itself, right, the ultimate continuously deals damage as long as she has HP to consume, right? You guys can see Talin can cast this skill even when she's out of energy. So it consumes HP and energy at first, but if she's out of energy, she will consume HP instead at a much higher rate. So as long as you have some ways to keep her healthy and keep the skill going, this is continuous damage. And on top of that, she doesn't actually die. So this will be reflected later on in the third skill. So let's fast forward. This Radiant Resurgence. This is Blazing Ascension. So this is the revival skill. So this was actually talked about in the video yesterday, where she'll basically transform into a ball where she cannot be attacked, right? And she will recover HP and then she will resurrect when she reaches a certain HP point. Then you can actually still heal her back up even though she will get lesser vitality. So the healing efficiency will definitely drop. But the thing is this, right? Some people have commented that she could be countered by Skalita. So I do see two scenarios. Number one, if Skalita uses her skill and then she dies immediately, I think she'll just become the 8th form because she's not sent out of the battlefield. She dies immediately from the damage dealt by Scalita. I don't know how this interaction will actually work because it is definitely something interesting that we would be testing, because this is gonna affect the higher end of arena where it's like all the Scalita versus Talins. So what will happen is, I think when Scalita uses a skill, if she can send her out, I think she will send Talin out. So Talin might not be able to revive, right? Because she's not dead. She doesn't lose, like she doesn't die, right? Whenever she's defeated. So she's not defeated by Scalita. She's sent out by Scalita. So that is something which I am going to test out for sure, because this is something that will affect how the meta shifts. And Talin being a very powerful sustain unit based on her kit is probably gonna change out how arena defense work as well. So we shall see. That's something that I'm definitely gonna try.
Blazing Ascension. Talin resurrects in flame, returning to the battlefield after a set period of time. As long as her allies are there, Talin can keep resurrecting, rejoining the fight every time.
Okay.
Upon resurrection, Talin causes explosive damage and knocks back nearby enemies. And after activating her exclusive skill, Pyre of Renewal, Talin grants the pyre to one ally at the start of the battle. Enemies around this ally will keep taking damage from the pyre. Pyre of Renewal will strengthen, and its damage will increase over time. When strengthened to a certain level, the ally granted with Pyre of Renewal will also gain Talin's resurrection ability, transforming into flames upon death and reviving after a short time. Note that the resurrection ability granted to her allies can only take effect once per battle.
Can you imagine Torrent with this ability? Like, Torrent will come, let's say if I link Torrent to Talin, right? What will happen is Talin's gonna cast like the Pyre of Renewal on him, and Torrent's gonna die, revive, die, revive, die, revive, die, revive. And then if you have a lot of melee units, right, you're just gonna be clapped by Torrent's ultimate retaliate damage on top of Talin's damage and heals. That's quite insane. Okay, I have already a few ideas of Talin in my head, by the way. So we are going to test those ideas out as soon as we get Talin. And if I can get like some copies of Supreme Plus for her, then I will definitely be doing all these different testing that I have in my mind. So let's continue.
The holy flame never dies, and hope remains eternal. Talin's determination and fearlessness will forever inspire the people of Asperia to fight against darkness and evil.
Speaking of the people of Asperia, do you remember Kruger's plan to rebuild the clan?
I heard that after much effort, Kruger
Finding
and
the bug.
Magister Merlin have brought many changes to the Grimmaw clan.
Yes! Now the Grimmaw clan have great respect for Magister Merlin. I hope they will get along well with more clans in the future.
Now it seems Walker also needs some help from us in Alkali.
That's right. Ever since the Quicksand Claws were defeated, they've scattered into smaller factions, causing chaos and trouble in Alkali. The bounty
Okay, so
hunters
I'm
have
gonna skip
formed
this
a
part.
small
This is
alliance.
basically Kruger's clan event, but with another clan. Okay, so I think this is the new game mode. There's some new game mode, so I'm just gonna go to that part.
Besides these quests, there's another new way to explore all of Asperia.
This is a
and
new game
that's
mode, by the way.
Crystal Clash.
Crystal Clash.
Recently, Evergreen
Crystal
Conservatory discovered a form of magical crystals that seem quite profitable.
That's right. They're known as crystal geodes. At the event, you'll find these crystals all across Asperia. You can opt to protect any unguarded crystal and start setting up defenses around it.
Defenses? Do you mean others in the overworld can come and seize them in battles?
Yes! When others discover your crystal geode, they can attack and challenge your defense from outside in. The more defense points they defeat, the more rewards they can claim. Mining crystals takes time, so rewards will arrive only when the guarding time is over.
Wouldn't it be better to bring in some helping hands to handle it?
Yes, It's best to invite a teammate to help you guard the crystal to make your defense impenetrable. Then again, you can also invite teammates to raid others' magical crystals.
That sounds so thrilling!
Indeed. That's why we need to be cautious about how we defend. How visible the crystal geode is, how many rewards it brings, and how difficult it is to defend will all affect the final gains.
So much to learn and discover.
Well, the thrills are not limited to Crystal Clash. The upcoming Guild Supremacy event is equally exciting. Once the event starts, Glyph Shade will be activated for all guilds.
Okay,
Once
activated, before we continue, right? I was expecting this, right? Because if you look at the Guild Supremacy rewards, the rewards are actually guild coins. So based on this, it probably resets around like a 30 plus 40 days timer. But this guild coin rewards, I think it's like basically your dream round side, right? So you clear certain percentages, you get all the coins. And on top of that, I think as you hit the boss itself, you can also get guild coins because it's a guild event. So having more guild coins is actually greater accessibility for Celestial Hypergene units as well, because you can get more copies of them with more guild coins. So that's what I really want to see, right? More accessibility for everyone. So you need to be active to get the accessibility, but it's still a good direction.
Activated for all guilds. Once activated, all members in the guild can participate. Guild members need to work together to defeat the Glyph Shade. Everyone has a fixed number of attempts per day for each difficulty level. Upon defeating the Glyph Shade, guild members will receive rewards based on its difficulty. And after reaching a certain amount of honor points, the next difficulty level will be activated.
Okay, so so that's this guild ranking, which is a ton of guild coins, right? And then over here, right? So there's this guild ranking. There is a ton of guild coins. And then there is this Guild Supremacy individual. So yeah, definitely greater accessibility.
Is too difficult to fight.
Don't worry. Even if you fail to defeat the Glyph Shade, you will still receive rewards based on its remaining health. At the end of the event, guilds will be ranked based on the highest difficulty Glyph Shade they activated and the damage dealt at that difficulty level. Rewards will then be distributed to the guild members accordingly. Apart from guild events, Honor Duel will also see many new updates. Once the Duel store reaches level 4, the lucky ones may also find an item called Random Ascension. This item can randomly upgrade an unowned or non-legendary hero to legendary, making it a quick way to boost your power.
Are there any other changes besides new items?
Yes, there are updates to artifacts as well. If you choose artifacts that are strongly bound to a specific faction or hero, the corresponding faction will appear in the shop refresh within a certain number of times.
Okay.
When artifacts reach 2 stars, you can choose one piece from 3 legendary equipments. You can now also buy Artifact XP in the Duel store to help level up artifacts quickly.
Okay, so this is actually done good news, because I think right now a lot of the artifacts, the meta ones, the good ones, they are artifacts which have really good one-liners. So there are some, I think, faction specific ones, such as the Molar one that gives you regen and stuff. They are not early game type artifact. So this additional changes to artifact allow you to get your corresponding factions faster, as well as getting your like weapons when you level them up, because the easier it is to level up your units, right, the easier it is for you to get EXP for artifacts. On top of that, you're able to buy levels for artifacts. So some of these artifacts, right, they are not very powerful in the early game. So what this is trying to do is to make all the late game artifact reach late game a little bit faster, and hopefully make them the new meta, or at least balance them out with some of the early game stuff. Because there are some that is really powerful in the early game, like I think the one that takes HP for energy, that is pretty busted in the early game. Like being able to just spam your ultimate is crazy. Sylvina one obviously is still really powerful even though it got nerfed. Morale's one's also really powerful, but Morale's really slow by nature, so that is not a major issue. I think right now there's a few that is, I think one is no item, right? No item deal damage to everyone. The paper plane one, that's pretty crazy as well. So this will definitely shake up the Honor Duel meta a lot, by the way, and how we play the game, right? Because I think there are some more changes following up, so we'll finish this part first.
In addition to the artifact system, hero refreshes have also been updated. Max tier heroes will no longer appear repeatedly in the store. This way, you won't waste draw opportunities by getting the same hero over and over again.
It seems that hero lineups will form much faster in Honor Duel now. Speaking of heroes and factions...
Okay, so yeah, it's like Chippy say, it's gonna be a lot easier to form up your teams, and that will definitely shake up the meta. And this removal of your Mythic Plus character from Honor Duel is also another way to change out the playstyle, because then you might want to just rush for units to Mythic Plus ASAP, and then you know, from there you plan your team around it. So there is going to be some shake-up in Honor Duel. So I'll probably be playing the game mode more just to have a hands on it, because I haven't been super active on the game mode. So I'm not a meta Honor Duel guy, but I do know of some artifact being super busted. So we shall wait and see once the patch drop. So maybe I'll be doing some Honor Duel contents in the next few days to just see what the new meta is like with all these changes.
There's, something that's been bothering me.
What is it?
It's about the Graveborn faction. The Graveborns have always lacked support roles. I'm not talking about Niru, but healing-type support roles.
Don't worry.
What if I told you that soon we'll be able to recruit such a role? Would you believe me?
You're the keeper of the Noble Tavern, so of course I believe you.
Then let me introduce you to Ludovic. Ludovic, breathed eternalist.
Ludovic.
This melancholic noble boy has lived through immortal years despite his appearance. His beloved Everblooms have witnessed this long period of loneliness. These fragile petals hold immense spiritual power.
Okay, so I just caught a quick glance. Her skill, his skill is gonna base around a lot on this Everbloom ability, which is a few of flowers he summon and then he will continuously heal. And this flower will slowly lose their healing power, but his subsequent skills will re-empower this bloom to recover their healing power. And his active is this ability to allow him to shift this flower around to heal everyone. Yeah, so you guys will see later on. So I took a quick glance just now.
Power. In battle, all of Ludovic's skills revolve around these beautiful florals. At the beginning of the fight, Ludovic creates Everblooms under himself, providing continuous healing to allies within their range. However, there's a limit to the healing. Once withered, the Everblooms can no longer heal, but they will slowly replenish their power and revive after a while. Whenever an enemy loses a significant amount of health, the Everblooms absorb part of the lost health to replenish their power. Ludovic carefully selects his enemies as nourishment for his beloved Everbloom. By casting Lifeweaver's blooms, Ludovic places a floral curse on an enemy. The cursed target will be surrounded by white flowers, continuously losing health. Then, by casting Ethereal Blooms, the Everblooms will be transferred to the location of an ally. They absorb the health of enemies around the new position, converting it into healing power for the allies. By adjusting the position of the Everblooms, absorbing enemy health, and converting it into nourishments, Ludovic provides sustained healing benefits to his allies. His ultimate, Eternal Serenity, moves the Everblooms to a new location again, this time erupting multiple large healing waves. Each wave restores a significant amount of health to all allies within range. And upon unlocking his exclusive skill, Ephemeral Berries, every time the Everblooms absorb a certain amount of health through Lifeweaver's blooms, berries will be produced. These berries will explode, dealing damage to enemies and providing healing to allies within range. Survival or destruction? Perhaps in Ludovic's eyes, the cursed enemies have already become true works of art.
I look forward to meeting Ludovic in Asperia, but I hear his story remains a mystery. Will we have the chance to get to know him and learn about his past?
I'm sure we will. Ludovic isn't very good at expressing himself, but I believe we'll come across more stories about him in the future. Wow.
Okay, so I'm just gonna skip towards the end because this is all the conversation, right? I don't think it's that important. So we pretty much know all the important details. This is the release date for Ludovic. So for Ludovic's case, right, this seems like a really good long-term sustain support healer for Graveborn. I think Asperia will appreciate him. I think sustain teams will appreciate him. So together with Talin, right, depending on how much Talin is going to shift the meta, I'm going to call it, right, Talin is going to shift the meta. So is Talin going to shift the meta towards the sustain side, the more drawn out side? If that's the case, then Ludovic is going to be an amazing addition, because then, other than tapping on the Wilder side of things, you can now tap on the Graveborn side of things for future sustain combos and stuff. So that's pretty much it. We'll wait until the actual release of Ludovic, as well as our testing on Talin, to talk more about it. And thank you very much for tuning in as usual, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!